How's that? There we go. Got her. Figured it out. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, thank God. We got it. Okay. For some reason, one of my settings got switched out on an update. I did it. I updated the. Is it good? Okay. Wow, that was frustrating. Okay. Oh shoot. Hello. Good. Good. Apparently, yeah. I don't know. All of a sudden, it wouldn't take any channels. I didn't call about it. They called me and said there was a problem. I'm like, you're right. There is a problem. Okay. Right. Yeah, 301, but it doesn't go to me. It goes to my wife. I'll have to go down and get you. I'm just in. Okay. I was just gonna start. I was just in the middle of a show here, but when you come in here, are you gonna need me too much? Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'll just continue doing the show, and I'll just tell them I gotta go down and let you in. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna continue. I got a guy coming in to fix my satellite, and so I'll just continue doing the show, and then when he comes in, I'll let him in. So, anyways, what were you saying? Something about the game tonight? The Rangers and the Flyers. Yeah, I have a guy coming to fix my satellite. That's all. And then when he calls me, I'm gonna let him in. So I'll have to skip away for a second and come back. So what do you want to talk about? Yeah, the Rangers should win. Um, this is gonna be. It's gonna be interesting to me to see how the Rangers react to losing to Carolina last night, because in one way, I mean, they should beat they should beat the Flyers. Okay. But I think the way they lost to the Carolina last night, it's going to be a letdown for them a bit. Like, how do I like? It's gonna. I think it's going to affect their confidence a tad going into this game. They lost to Philadelphia last time. I think it adds more pressure on them to win this game. They got to get they got to get their confidence back. It's really hard to realize that another team is better than you. And Carolina showed last night that they're better than the Rangers. So now Gallant has to pull them back up again and, get them believing in themselves for this game tonight. The truth of the matter is the Rangers haven't been good 5-on-5 all year. Yeah, the Leafs, that was a brutal loss. Brutal loss. I mean, they got one shot with Campbell, and that's it. They got to hope he holds out in the playoffs because that kid's not ready. Yeah, well, Hart's injured. It doesn't really change much. He's not much better than Jones this year, honestly. I don't think. As far as the Edmonton game in Minnesota, I wish I would have put a play on that because I was pretty sure Minnesota was going to win that game. Edmonton's, what does Edmonton have now for the rest? They got Nashville. That's going to be tough too. Then Vegas. Wow. next week, which is pretty much the end of the season. They got Dallas, Colorado, and Columbus. Wow, that I'll tell you, that is one tough schedule for the next little while. And that's at home. They beat Colorado last time. I imagine Colorado won't let that happen again. The Dallas game's going to be a barn burner because they both will absolutely need that game. I mean, when you're playing Vegas, who knows what's going to happen in that game? I have no idea. Neither team really gives me a lot of confidence to be able to win a game when they need it. I'm leaning the Jackets. Well, that's devastating for Toronto without. I'm leaning the Jackets. They got that new Johnson kid in. What's he going to look like in that lineup? He crushed it in college pretty well, and I just think that's going to give them the energy. It's very uplifting to have this young, energetic, wide-eyed kid coming to play his first NHL game. Oh, shoot, they don't have him in. I thought he was going to be playing. How come they don't have him in the lineup? Wow. Oh yeah, Kent Johnson. They're playing him on the left side on the third line? That's weird. Left wing, third line for Kent Johnson. Nick Blank. Maybe I'm doing some. Maybe I should be taking Montreal here. I don't know. I mean, they got how many? Who's out? Shinnikov, Corrali. A lot of defensemen out. They're going to be playing Nick Blankenberg. I don't know if that's his first game of the. Oh, he's another guy out of university too. So, oh man. Oh wow. I don't know if I should be taking a side with this. Tough game. Got a lot of new kids in there. On what, next Tuesday? Maybe. We'll see what next Tuesday does. Yeah, I mean, Boston seems like a pretty angry team right now. Uh, I didn't get to hear. I just heard about what Cassidy said after the game last night. He wasn't very happy with them. But, and a lot of people are giving Cassidy a lot of crap for what he said. Oh, that's your birthday. Nice. A lot of people have been giving Cassidy a lot of crap for what he said. And I think Cassidy knows that this team's going to have to play like that to win in the playoffs. If Boston's going to win in the playoffs, they got to be pretty mean because they don't have the talent to win. They're going to have to win the war in the playoffs. And Cassidy's challenging the shit out of him right now. So we'll see how they respond. But when it comes right down to it, like from what I understand from what he said, that's what I got from it. He just realizes, you know what? We're not making. They don't have the overall talent to beat Carolinas and stuff like that in a playoff format. So they're going to have to play pretty angry hockey. Oh, he deserved it. He deserved it. No doubt about it. He deserved 4 games for sure. I mean, what do you can't do that, man. I'm starting to get the feeling that Malkin's playing in a lot of pain this year. I think he's playing in a lot of pain. I think he's playing with pain because like he's been doing that for a while. He's been getting a lot of crapped on for either inconsistency or being frustrated. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he's playing with. I think he's playing injured. I wouldn't even doubt if he's not far away from retiring, Malkin. He's injured an awful lot lately. So I wouldn't doubt that he's not far away from retiring. He had an ovation. I don't know where Jack Campbell is. Is he out again? Toronto's in so much trouble. This is why I said don't screw around with goaltending, Matt. It's if people say, "Oh, I don't take goaltenders in the first round," and I don't want to pay too much for my goaltender. I totally disagree. I mean, Jack Campbell should be playing the next game for sure. But you look at his numbers, 2.72 and a .912. They can't play the Shalgren kid anymore. He's going to lose all his confidence. He's getting shelled. He doesn't have the talent to be in there. Hey, how you doing, buddy? It's Brian from Sports and Entertainment. I don't know what they're going to do. They have no choice but to play the Shalberg kid. And then what happens in the playoffs if Campbell, folds again or whatever? All I know is next year I'm not signing Campbell, and I'm spending my money on a goaltender, and I don't care who I got to trade to do it. What's the use of having Nylander, Marner, all of these guys if you don't have a goaltender that you can rely on? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like Edmonton with McDavid, Draisaitl, blah 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 blah. But look who's in net. Does it matter? No, doesn't matter. Defense as well, but I don't think Toronto's defense is all that bad. They need a number one goaltender. A true number one goaltender. And I don't know where they're going to find that, because it's a little late now to be looking for a number one goaltender. They had one in Anderson, obviously. Look what he's doing in Carolina. Although, I think a lot of that, again, as much as I like Anderson, how much is it that... yeah, I got it working, yeah. As much as I like Anderson, you got Carolina's system there again, right? So, where's Toronto going to find their goaltender? You tell me. I'm at a loss. I have no idea. Binnington, I'm pretty sure St. Louis is not going to keep on rolling with Binnington. I wouldn't want to risk that. I'm talking about a no-risk number one goaltender. Gibson is the only one I can think of that'll probably be available. And I don't know if he'll waive to go to Canada. I have no idea. Besides that, where are you going to find it? Varlamov? Not really. can't trust the Blackwood to be not injured. You got me, man. Well, Bruins will spank the shit out of Senators tomorrow, I think. After that. Yeah, I think they're going to be. I think the Bruins are getting themselves ready. They're in playoff mode right now, or they're trying to be. But that being said, they're very injured right now. But the people in the lineup, they're in a playoff mindset right now. I think actually a game in Ottawa could be a lot of penalties in that game. As far as the Penguins, what are the Penguins right now? I mean, are they just keeping? I mean, this is a very veteran team. Are they? It seems to me like they just can't get up for these games. Just get the playoffs started. What have you? It's either that or there's something wrong in the room there. Carter Hutton, next guy up. Well, you have nobody if Carter Hutton's the next guy up. Put Hutchinson in, I guess. He's doing terrible in the AHL. Like, for the life of me, I don't know what Toronto's going to do. This year, they're screwed. Just flat out, they're screwed. There's no way Toronto's going to beat really anybody with that goaltending. Cross your fingers that Campbell has one of his out of body experiences that he's had in the past, and rocks it. But do I have faith in that? Not really. Okay, I'm gonna be right back, guys. You guys stay there. I gotta let this guy in. Hello. Yeah, I'll be right down. I believe so, yeah. It's right up. Yeah, I'll be right back. just doesn't get channels. I tried to search for channels and everything. Nothing. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, Carey Price may be coming back the last couple games. Try and play. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting. Hi, Mark Brown. How you doing? That's going to be an interesting thing there. Carey Price might come back. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I imagine my leaning with Montreal is that this is going to be a very quick rebuild. After everything I've read, they grabbed a whole bunch of second rounders a year before. They grabbed some picks this year, and I think they're going to add free agents and keep rolling. I really do. I don't take the Molsons as the type of people they just won't lose. They just won't lose. They probably have sponsors and they promised them all kinds of stuff. I would say, so that's what we don't really know. It's the biggest reason why you see so many teams that just won't rebuild. They just won't. Because they brought in sponsors who have paid a lot of money. Is it your problem too? Oh, okay. And they just won't rebuild. You're liking the free agent clips? Oh, cool. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, if you check those out, I got more coming. I'm gonna do all the teams out there. That was a really good article when I came across that. I was like, yeah, like every single one of them were very difficult to judge. Like, what's Bergeron going to get in the off season? I really don't know, because you really don't know the mind of where Bergeron is. He's already taken team friendly deals. Is he going to now go and is Bergeron now going to go and not get paid again? Maybe. I mean, you think he's going to Montreal for sure. The way things are delayed and stuff, maybe he does. I mean, let's face it. Okay, let's look at it this way. If he's not worried about winning a cup, then what's the use of going back to Boston? Honestly, like if he already won some cups already. It's all going to be about whether he thinks that team is good enough to win another one, and what Boston is planning on doing to get them to the point where they can do that. So, but the thing that screws up all of this for me, because I thought it was a possibility too, that we were going to get news that Bergeron was moving on and the team was going to basically rebuild and all that kind of stuff like that. Because it looks like it probably wouldn't be a bad idea up until now. Except they signed Lindholm. Why do you sign Lindholm if you're going to rebuild, if Bergeron's not going to come back? I mean, are you going to get another center as good as... I don't get it. I don't get it. The only thing I can think of is maybe, with the money that they leave for Bergeron, that what other center is out there? What other center is going to be as good as Bergeron and have this team? It's going to have to be a younger center, right? They would look towards a younger center. So they can keep on rolling, but who? I just, JT Miller was talked about, but they'd have to re-sign him, and he is younger, but is he going to be a guy that's going to make you a contender for the next couple of years? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you lose that number one center, it's pretty hard to get another one unless you draft it. I guess that's the best way to say it. Unless you draft a number one center, it's almost impossible to get a number one center. So if Bergeron's going to walk and they know it, why are you giving up all those assets for Lindholm? That's what screwed me up. Either it's a really stupid move, or it's a sign that they know that Bergeron's coming back on a fairly team-friendly deal. It's one of those two. So we'll see if it's a stupid move or not, because if Bergeron's not coming back, I think that's a stupid move. Well, the next captain is McAvoy for sure. But, I mean, really, does it matter? Honestly, if Bergie's leaving now, yeah, you make McAvoy captain. He's young. He's been there long enough. He's certainly that type of guy. I would think so. I would think so. I think he's staying. Yeah, I think he's staying on another team friendly deal. And you said in the video is, well, no, I didn't say it in the video. I was talking to Boston guys on Facebook, and I said, why doesn't he just sign like a 3 or 4 year, $2 million per year deal? And then it depends how long he wants to play for too. That's the other thing. To Brinket, no, well, I mean, as long as Taze is there, nobody's going to get the captaincy. By the way, how you doing, Brandon Sikora? Thanks for coming in, my friend. But as long as Taze is there, nobody else will be the captain. And then that's the other one that I'm sure we're going to get into later. Yeah, as far as Davidson, I think is his name, the new general manager there. As far as I understand, like they plainly said that Taves and Kane are untouchable. And that is basically because the only way they're leaving, as they've said, is that if they ask to go. And I think that has a lot to do with several things. It's either spun in a way that, again, this is a sponsorship thing. You lose Taves and Kane, it's your biggest drawing. Like when I posted up Kane being traded, I did the Kane trade video that I did. And when I posted that up on Facebook, they, there was lots of people there that said they won't watch Chicago anymore and all that kind of stuff like that. Now, it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to actually do it. But I think from a sponsor's perspective, the fear of that is enough. They pay a lot of money. They want as many eyes watching that as possible. So, however, if they get bad enough that Taves and Kane will say they would like to move on. You got it?
Yeah, I was on the wrong input.
That's all it was, right? That's what I thought, because I asked her about it.
Yeah.
I said, isn't there a way that maybe something could happen, like it's on? and she's like, she couldn't help me with it. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all
otherwise, I would have just did that.
good. All good.
Good enough.
All right, have
Thanks,
a good
bud.
day. Okay, take care.
See you later. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna go back up. The cap's gonna go back up for sure. There's no doubt about it. It's a million now. I don't know what it'll be next time, but it'll go up. They got a killer TV deal. They have more. There's more people watching hockey now than ever. It's going up. I don't know. Maybe they'd be stupid to keep Jack Campbell, I would say. I don't, like I said, as far as I know, they haven't waived their no trade, so I can't say what they'll do. I think they'd be silly to stick around. It's kind of getting embarrassing there now. It's kind of getting embarrassing there, to tell you the honest truth. Like, why stick around, really? You talk to Chicago people and they say, well, you know, you need some veterans to bring up the kids. But yeah, I mean, you need some it just, they're taking up a spot where the kids are supposed to play, though. Are you going to play Taves and Kane on the bottom lines and let these kids grow into their roster? You can always get veterans. Like, there's other veterans there. Maybe keep one, but... Hey, how you doing, Mean Girl Hockey? How you doing, my friend? But, yeah, Brandon, you are a Chicago fan, so, I mean, it's going to be difficult to move them even if they want to be moved. I mean, that's the thing, especially if they're going to make it tight on them and say, like, I'll go to this team or that team. They both have very high contracts. Kane should be movable. Taves, maybe, I don't know, with all the injury problems, he had the fatigue issue, he took a whole year off. You know, he hasn't put up great numbers. They may have to retain on that one. And if any team is watching analytics for Kane, he's defensively, he's an absolute disaster. Like, really, it's getting to the point where it doesn't even much make up for his offense. It doesn't make sense to keep them. Well, certainly if they're going to play out their contracts, yeah, you're not keeping them after that. But I don't know, if they're going to be stubborn and want to stay in Chicago. Like, think about, you just brought up a really good point. So let's go look at Chicago's. I never even thought about it from that perspective. Kane is like what? UFA in 2023. What is that after next year? And Tays, yeah, they're both 2023. So, yeah, they've only got next year's contract to go. So, I thought they had 2 more years, actually. I don't know why I thought that. But, I guess if they don't want to get traded, just keep them for next year and don't sign them. Then they can go wherever they want. Nice. USB stick, right on. Duncan Keith, yeah, he was. Well, if you want to know how bad Duncan Keith was last night, just look up Peyton on the radio, and he'll tell you all about it. But he's been bad all year. But I guess last night was like particularly bad, I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Kane gone after next year. I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to sign him again. I don't know, unless they're going to come back for like really sweetheart deals. But even then, they're taking up a spot on the roster. Now, Taves, on the other hand, if he'll come back on a sweetheart, like really sweetheart deal, that would be a little different because that's a guy that you would really, that's a guy that you would want to model young players for. Kane, he doesn't play well defensively, well enough defensively. Like for me, I really don't want Kane there. And I'm telling these guys, okay, this is the, I'm trying to work in a defensive system. And here's Kane, who basically does nothing defensively whatsoever. He flies the zone all the time. He cherry picks all over the place. He doesn't do anything that really any coach in the NHL today would ask of a young player to do. I don't think that's a good role model for what I want to build my team around in the future. So yeah, I wouldn't be signing. I just tell them we're not signing you for any amount of money. Doesn't matter. We're not signing you. So move on. I mean, if Taves wants to do something for like maybe even 3 or 4, then okay, I could see that. Because I mean, he's a guy that I would want to build a team around. Yeah, I think Kane's got kind of complacent there. He never was great defensively, but you sit a person can stay on a team with no threat of leaving, and all these habits come in. It's like Kane's got a crown on him that can't be knocked off, and I don't think he's a bad dude or anything like that. He's just really, like, subconsciously he doesn't have to grind it out anymore, and he just doesn't. Oh, absolutely. I think that Kirby Dach could still be that. But maybe not. Maybe he's more like a super awesome second line center. But Strome to me is not a number 1 center. And like we said before, the only way you're really going to get that is drafting. So you're going to have to lose to get it, and then you'll get it. I don't think they have anything. I don't think they have anything in their system that's going to get them there. I think Doc will be, I think Doc did at one time, but I just think everything in Chicago has been hard on all the players there. They got a poor coach right now. Like I said, you're watching Kane do what he does every day, and everybody celebrates him like he's God. Subconsciously, it's pretty tough to go out there and grind it out and be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Kane has an ill effect on that team. See, they don't even have their number 1 this year because of Jones, right? They got a lot of seconds and a third. They got the 2023 first, which could be good if they can really suck next year. Like, just keep Lankinen as your goaltender and. But, like, just Josiah Slavin isn't the answer. Jake Wise. Like, there's nothing out there that really just screams, this is our next number one center. They're really going to need to. Yeah, Jake Wise hasn't even put up numbers that are worthy of a thought towards a number one center in college. They need a lot of work. I think they need to lose a lot. Derek King said they put the Hawks in a terrible position from day one. They played, is he saying like they played them too early? Yeah, Dylan Strome is not good defensively, and he's learning from Kane. Kane celebrates him like Kane celebrates Strome, says that he likes playing with him and all that kind of stuff like that. And you know, that's not necessarily a good thing coming from Kane. No more new news here. Yeah, I guess. They could bring Ryan, and I don't see how that helps you out too much in the long run, though. But for me, like you said, Chicago's got to do a stripped down rebuild. Sort of a strippish down rebuild. Yeah, I mean, he's a number 2 center. He's a number 2 center that needs to play with some strong defensive wingers. It's a mishmash of players there in Chicago, to put it bluntly. Simple as that. You got 2 veteran guys that, you know, can reminisce about the old days. And then it's just a mishmash of players after that. They need a coach, too. They need a really solid coach. I mean, maybe I'll do a Kane traded video again. I did it before. And I think, you know, there would be value out there for Kane. There would be some, especially on a 1-year deal now. I don't see why they just don't retain both at $5 million. Retain both players at $5 million, right? You're half their contracts, which you're allowed to do. It's only for 1 year. If you do that, then you can trade both of them. Who cares about whether cap space? It's only for 1 year. I would like, but the thing is you got to convince these guys to trade to waive their no trade clause, and you're probably not going to get all that much back for them. That's the 2 biggest issues there. Unless they open it up to a couple teams that they'd be willing to go to, you know, I can't see them getting all that much back. I haven't looked at John Tavares' analytics. He used to be decent, but I don't know what he is now. Yeah, I mean, if they brought over Ryan, Ryan's going to be expensive. Well, maybe not. Maybe general managers will realize out there that he's not worth what he wants. Like, yeah, I hear he wants like $7 million a year or something like that. Like, if Chicago does that, I'd say they got rocks in their head. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. If they give Ryan Strome $7 million a year. Yeah, those are kind of tough to do because I don't really know enough about because a lot of teams are going to be going in the young direction. But I could possibly do that. And the other thing is as much as you like seeing where coaches may end up, I find coach videos are not very popular. People don't really like them all that much. What do you think? Well, Mark Brown. Oh, yeah, you're the one that said third C playing second. Dylan is a 2C playing first. And I mean, he's not even a strong 2C. But he can't play Dylan can't play 3C. It's either top 6 or nothing for Dylan. Ryan he can also play wing too, Ryan. So Ryan at least has some versatility to him. But I mean, there's so little talent out there this year to pick up for scoring that I think Ryan is gonna hit it out of the park. I have no idea who it's going to be. But somebody's going to overpay for Ryan, I think. I wouldn't doubt if it's like the Montreal Canadiens or something like that. I don't know. Gordon's a pretty smart guy. He knows him inside and out, maybe not. I really don't know who it would be, to tell you the honest truth. Arizona's not going to overpay for anyone. I get this weird feeling that Calgary will do it. But it's really hard to find the value in what he is. If he's $7 million, that's just too much, man. 6.5 for 8 years as a team discount, like, well then, go on the open market. If somebody wants to give him 6.5 for 8, so that means he has some indication that he's going to get 7 for 8? Really? Who's going to give him 7 for 8? I'd really like to know who that is. I can't even tell you that. Like, I can't tell you who's going to give him 7 for 8. And that's why I think Calgary. You just brought it up. Because Monahan's going to come off the books. Is he in his final year? I don't even know if Monahan's really going to play again anymore. Oh, well, maybe for cap reasons or whatever, possibly. You could pull a pick out of Monahan if he doesn't play anymore, yeah. You wouldn't give him $5 million for 2? I don't know if I would go that far. But there's no way I'm giving him 6.5 for 8. No way. No way. Maybe $5 million. Depending on the makeup of my team. But see, I don't trust that when people say that, you know, well, yeah, I'm sure that agents talk and they know what teams are going to be able to give what. That's going to be a pretty fascinating thing for me to see. Uh, him getting what he gets from who. I'm going to be, because I, for the life of me, couldn't tell you who was going to give him that kind of money. I think it's going to be teams that do stupid things, like the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, he's going to get way more than that. I know it. Like, look who's on. Okay, look up the free agent list. No, no. Forgot to. We'll take a look at the free agents that are coming up. Okay, like Claude Giroux, 35. He's 35 years old. I mean, I'm hearing that he's going to Montreal or to Ottawa. Patrice Bergeron, I'm sure will sign with Boston. Goudreau's going to sign. Radulov is over the hill. He's no good anymore. Well, we talked about that. Oh, did I ever take a ribbon for that when I mentioned to the Ranger fans that they could move Laugh, but I think they could. If he can adjust to the right side, and you know, the fans there said, well, you know, it's not that hard to adjust to the right side. They seem to think. Well, how come Panarin and Kreider couldn't do it then? Panarin and Kreider are not very as good on the right side. And if Lafreniere is not as good on the right side, do you think he's going to play on the right side and get less points? Like, you're going to have to pay him top left winger money, being put in a position that is not the best for him, because he's not going to accept anything less than that. So you could, when they drafted him, I was like, what are you going to do with this guy, really? Like, I thought at the time when they drafted him that it would have been best for them to trade the pick and see if you could pick up Stützle or something like that, like trade down a bit. Stützle would have been much better for them. But looking at the free agency list, Philip Forsberg's a winger. Like, let me just look up center. Malkin, Giroux, Bergeron, okay, Kessler. Forsberg can play center, but he's normally a winger. Like Vinny Trocheck. Strome and Vinny Trocheck are not much different than each other, really. Rick Riker Raquel, like, there's nobody on the market. If somebody's looking for a center, there's nobody on, there's not much on the market that's better than Strome. He's going into the market as a free agent with a heck of a lot of leverage. There's a couple plays out there that are possible, like I just did the Scheifele traded video, and a team could go for a guy like Scheifele, and the Rangers were one of those teams that I thought of, but I mean that's going to cost you a lot of assets. So you could stay with Kopp, let Strome go, and then you're going with Kopp as your second line center for the, because you're going to have to sign him for $5 million for 6 or 7 or even 8. I don't know. He's a free agent. I mean, I mean, first round picks are not cheap. Somebody would have to have seriously liked Lafreniere. What was Montreal back? When did Montreal pick back then? I can't remember what I said, but I was thinking about it back then. I was like, if there was ever a time to trade at first, this is the time to do it. Hedl still has upside, but he's definitely not a for sure. And the Rangers are really on the path now to be a contender in the next 2 years. I don't really want to go into the playoffs from now on with Kopp as my number 2 center. As my number 2 center. So what could they have got back then? That was 2020 draft, right? Yeah, it was 2020 draft. So what? Montreal didn't pick high enough. You could have got I'm sure you could have got a package from Detroit. I would think, unless they always like Lucas Raymond better than Lafreniere. I don't know. Montreal didn't pick down till Caden Goulet. That would have been asking a little much. I think they still would have wanted like at least a top 10 pick and then a bunch of players to go with it. Lucas Raymond can play the right side. That's really what they need, is a righty or a center. If Ottawa was willing to trade up, and you could have got Byfield or Stützle, but I don't know if Ottawa might have always liked Stützle better than Lafreniere. I'm not sure. Right now, Stützle's put up better numbers, but I mean that doesn't mean he was a better player. He's been buried there. And Top Shelf Hockey says that the Detroit Red Wings might trade Dylan Larkin. Well, that would be, unless they get maybe Jonathan Toews at half salary, but I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible move, I guess. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't think they would trade it down that far. And if they did, they would have had to get like some really seriously good players back in return. Well, like if you're going to trade him to Montreal though, now you're going to want a center back. That's for sure. You're going to want a center back. So it's only and the only center there that would be worth anything would be Suzuki. Are they really going to trade their number one center for a left winger? I suppose if they thought they could, again, like number one centers are so hard to find. Maybe. No, but I mean, Gordon obviously wouldn't take anything in return because I'm sure people offered him multi first rounders in return. But if you're going to trade down like 4 spots, you're probably not going to get Detroit's next year's first and that year's first. You might get a first and a second. Something like that. Or a prospect or something like that. That's what makes it difficult is they got to really, really like that player a lot more than the one that they're going to get. And I don't really think Detroit would think that getting Lafreniere was so much that they would give up a first this year and next year when they could get Raymond, which has turned out to be fantastic for them. So, yeah, Dvorak, if he was good enough, but he's not. Just one sec, I got something beeping here, so. That would be surprising to me if Dylan Larkin really wanted to go, but in some ways, I guess it wouldn't be. Like, he's spent his whole career in Detroit. Where I'd like to know where he heard this. I might do a video on it, I guess. If I can find, I guess I'll look it up. Dylan Larkin trade. See if it comes up. Okay, Detroit's biggest trade pick. I'm seeing some if they get traded. Okay, so he floated the idea. Elliot Friedman floated it in 2021. Okay, so here we got Octopus Thrower, whoever that is. And he's probably got a contract coming up, so that's probably what this is about. That's probably what this is about. Let's see, 2023, yeah. He's 25, and so after next year he's going to be 26. He's a point-a-game player. I mean, let's face it, he's probably going to get $9 million a year. He spent like 5 years in floundering floundering on a team that hasn't been going anywhere. It would be devastating for them if they traded him, because it would be one hell of a blockbuster deal, I'll tell you that. But I could only think that it would be happening if he's just said, you know what, I don't want to be around anymore. Like, it's been too long now. But I doubt it. I doubt that's happening. I just doubt it. If there's rumors about it, my thinking is it's just kind of contract games. Yeah, a three-way deal where Lafreniere goes to Montreal and something like that. Thing is, I just don't see anything. I don't see Montreal's assets. I don't see them having the assets to make that deal, unless they give up, like, I don't know. Okay, so let's say they go Shifley to. Okay, it could work actually. Shifley to the Rangers. Lafreniere to Montreal. And what Winnipeg needs more than anything is defense. Big time. So I'd say they got to give up their treasured Goulet. I think they'd have to give up Caden Goulet. Where's Caden Goulet from? He's from Alberta, Sherwood Park, Alberta. So, I mean, it probably wouldn't be devastating for him to go to Winnipeg. He'd be able to play soon. He'd be able to play in Montreal soon too, I guess. He's at a point a game. Big guy. So, Caden Goulet to Winnipeg. Drouin. I don't think Winnipeg would want that headache in that deal. I don't think they'd want that headache. Caden Goulet and one of their first, maybe? Something like that. Maybe Romanov? I'm pretty sure it would have to be a defenseman or two. For sure. If it's me, I want Caden Goulet. If I'm going to give up Shifley, I want Caden Goulet. The Rangers give them Lafreniere. They get Shifley. Just straight, I think there'd have to be some more added in there, like, sort of thing, but something like that. I think Chevy will be back next year. I don't think yeah. Maybe not. I mean, Chevy's got a pretty tough job there in Winnipeg. Nobody wants to go there. They can't get free agents. The moves that he has made have not been bad. The Trouba situation, though, I don't know what happened with that. But I don't think Drouin's part of that deal. Unless you got more bad contracts going back and forth there. I don't. Scheifele, Lafreniere. Scheifele, Lafreniere to Montreal. Braden Coulee and plus. More pieces here and there, yeah. I mean, Winnipeg will. Maybe Caden Goulet and a guy like Dvorak? Because they're going to need a center there. Oh, Doug Wilson back to the Chicago Blackhawks. I think Doug Wilson's not well, so I doubt that. I don't think he's very well. I don't know. I think they still like Chevalier out there. I just think he has a really difficult job. It's not easy to get players in Winnipeg, and that's why when Trouba didn't want to be there anymore. There is something going on there, though. I think when you got Laine, who's very vocal about how he thought that you're on the top line there. There's no, they won't. It's almost like they're saying that the players rule the roost there. And I would think that could very well be the case, because I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could be the case, because it seriously is so hard to get players that want to stay in Winnipeg that it's possible that the coach and general managers in there don't really want to tread lightly on whoever wants to stay there. And then they end up kind of ruling the roost. And I think it's possible that's what happened there. But now, and if Scheifele was part of that problem, then I could see him being moved here now. But, I mean, like I said, whoever you get, like Caden Goulet, they're going to have to talk to Caden Goulet's agent and say, if they're going to get Goulet or in Dvorak or whatever, and say, look, we're willing to come get you. Are you willing to, be part of this team here? We just tell us flat out. Don't, because it's not the most desirable place for millionaires to want to spend their lives. I'm sorry, it's just not. Neither is Edmonton. I live in Edmonton. It's not the sexiest town in the world by a long shot. Yeah. I mean, he's made a lot of good moves there. Again, it's hard to judge. I didn't like the Schmidt move, but if you don't have any defensemen that want to come there, and you all of a sudden have a defenseman that says they would like to go there or they'd be happy to go there, I mean, what do? You got to have players. You can't go out and get people that don't. It's so challenging of a job to be a general manager of the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, he left for health reasons, so I get the feeling that he's probably, I don't know, maybe he gets better and maybe he considers that idea of going to Chicago. Maybe they just called it health reasons for PR reasons, and they know he's going to get better, but really it was probably time to move on there in San Jose anyways, so. Oh, the Jets GM before him. It's a very good question, my friend. One that I'm not really sure of. Who was the? Oh, was he always there for the Jets? That's right. It would have been War Warell or Waddell. Or was it John Paddock? No, that was way back. John Paddock. Yeah, it would be Waddell, wouldn't it? I think I think Chevy's been there right from the get go. Yeah, technically the Thrashers GM. Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about the playoffs because that's what probably everybody wants to really talk about now. Eh? So let's look at Vegas not winning last night was like I think was kind of the nail in the coffin for them. That they had to win that game. Did you see that overtime last night? That was a disgrace. What a brutal, like two quick giveaways, like just nobody knew what to do with the puck, and boom, Vancouver scores. On like one of the biggest nights you had to win night, they choked so bad. They choked so bad in that overtime. That was horrible. So we got Carolina. See, Rangers and Pittsburgh. Honestly, as Pittsburgh, I don't think has been going full bore down the stretch here. And who could catch him? Boston can still catch the Rangers. Oh, the Boston could still catch the Rangers. Okay. Yeah, no wonder Boston is playing as hard as they are right now because I would much rather play the Rangers. The Rangers 5-on-5 have been brutal this year. Oh yeah, that would make sense. Harkins, yeah, somebody like that. To kind of a throw-in guy, but a guy that's still effective. I don't think the Rangers are going to win against almost anybody that they play against. They've been getting better as the year has gone on, but I just don't think they're too green. I know you don't want to. Maybe you probably agree with me. Well, you can't. You got to prove it. You got to prove what they're doing. And that means you got to, there's doctors there that can, as long as you got a doctor that says they're fine, what are you going to do? But is it 3? Oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock already, guys. I gotta let you go. This was fun, but I gotta head out now. shoot, I just lost complete track of time. I was having so much fun here. I'll see if I can get on tomorrow. Hopefully I can get on tomorrow. How long have I been going on for here? An hour and 22 minutes. I gotta let you guys go. So we'll get on tomorrow. We'll talk about the games and stuff like that. My final. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, they could beat the Pens if Jari caves again. Like Jari just seems to fold in pressure situations. Let's face it. I am not sure right now that Tristan Jari is going to be okay in the playoffs. So I don't know if I have anything on that series, because I mean the Penguins play a better 5-on-5 game, but if Tristan Jari is like he was last year or anywhere near it, I don't think Pittsburgh beats anybody, honestly. Rick Dudley, okay, yeah, that was a long time ago. I mean, if Tristan Jari is like he was last year, I don't think Pittsburgh beats anybody. But if he's good, I think Pittsburgh probably wins that series. But that's as far as the Rangers go. I mean, if they got to go up against Carolina or Tampa Bay, they're just not good enough of a 5-on-5 team to beat those teams yet. All right, I do got to go though, guys. All right, that's my full 42, guys. Thanks for coming on. It was good times. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later. Okay, bye.